I'm going to call upon each of these people to come on board and share with us their experience, because I want you to hear, first class from these people, what was their experience here. So the first person I want to call upon to share with us, of course, their experiences here is one of our amazing diplomat leaders out from Western Canada. This incredible lady here got started with us several years ago. Was basically brand new, came on board and is absolutely rocking the Alberta market. She's leading a huge team in Calgary. She's always committed herself to personal development and growing herself, investing into herself. And that's no other than our very own diplomat, Anne-Marie Chantal. So Anne-Marie, do I have you on the call with us right now?
Yes, Rene, I'm right here. Can you hear me well?
Yes, loud and clear, Anne-Marie. And again, good to talk to you just yesterday. I know you just came back from that Las Vegas event. You sounded pretty exhausted yesterday.
I definitely. There's a lot of cheering, a lot of excitement to Las Vegas, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I'm so proud of you because you also had a few people on your team who went with you together to that summit, correct? To that event?
Yeah, definitely. So, well, as you know, right, when it comes to any network marketing and training, like you want to make sure you sharpen you get the tools around, right? You want to sharpen your skills. So I've been to Recruiting Mastery twice now. I was there last year, and I got a lot of value out of it. And I figured this year, why not bring people that most of them already been to the convention, so they already knew how to build a business and what kind of plan to have. But now hearing basically the same thing from a third party, right?
Yeah. And so, share with us, you kind of went there. What did you expect from that event? And, what did you sort of come out of that event? Now that you've sort of been there, you've been to friends, like you've been to different events now, what's your overall sort of, I guess, experience from leaving that event this past week?
Well, there's a few things. I mean, one of them, I always get about the same thing back and forth, if I may say, because it's all about consistency. It's all about numbers. It's all about what you do. I mean, if you book your calendar with lots of tours, only success will be in front of you. If you do nothing, then nothing will happen, and that's basically what they're saying. I always laugh when I hear things like, well, actually, one of the things that I really got from my economist, his name is Harry Dent. He's an economic forecaster, and he was sharing about where the marketplace is going today and how people need network marketing. And he also mentioned about how you need to know your clientele. And when he started talking about, for the people who are in the travel services, that most people start traveling and going on cruises by the age of 70. So if you're in a travel service, you need to know that because that's your target market, right? So when he said that, I was very happy where we were. Right, and then he mentioned, for everybody else in the room, because most people are in health and wellness, as lots of competition, right? One of the last things people want to do and spend money on is on their health. So basically, they start spending on their health when they're, and the statistics shows that it's about around 80 years old. So wow. I mean, I know for me, I got my ears pierced when I was 3 months old. And we all love the designer goods. I mean, it's a stethoscope. It's a visual. So
this economist came on the stage in front of 8,000 people, and what he basically said was that, you got to study your market, and that the people who are looking towards traveling or buy health and wellness products are about the age of 70 plus. Is that what he basically said to you guys?
Basically, yeah. I mean, he made it sound very good, but we all know that that's just it. Like, most people don't know where the economy is going, and that, yeah, you need to know your market. So if you're targeting health and wellness,
yeah, I mean, you must have been like, thank God that we're not in, the travel.
We had a great laugh, our team together. We were looking at each other's watches and handbag, and we're like, wow. Everybody wants that Italian leather shoes and luxury design. So
That is fantastic. Well, I mean, I know that your partner as well, who's always there, very, very into the business as well too, always helping you out, is Mr. Keith. Does Keith want to share a few words about his experience he had while he was down there too?
Sure, I can do that.
Yeah. Well, hi Keith. Welcome to the call.
Oh, thanks very much.
So share with me your experience.
Well, one of the things, Rene always says, if you're not getting better, you're getting worse. And for me, one of the best ways to be able to reference where I'm at and even where our company at in the bigger picture is to go and see what other people are doing, what other people are saying, to get some ideas and, again, to benchmark. So that's was the big purpose of going down to this meeting for me. And the other part I would share would be, sometimes hearing the same thing in a different language, if you will. And the best way I could explain that would be when Sean Haynes was in town last. I got the opportunity to have a conversation with him, and he didn't say anything. He said the exact same stuff that you say, etc., that Min says, but just by hearing it in his words, some stuff clicked for me. So that's a big thing too. It's nice to hear a different language. So for me, I got confirmation that, again, the big takeaways are consistency. You need a DMO. You need a system that's simple to follow that has a proven outcome, and which we have with forensic, right? So it was really nice to get that confirmation. If you're consistent with your DMO, success is assured. And then, like Henry was sharing with the way that our company is structured with the high profit margin, the no ranks and all that, it's just head and shoulders above. So when you see if it can be done there, it can be done here. And it was wonderful.
Absolutely. Well, again, thank you so much, Amber and Keith, for sharing your thoughts. I know you also had some of your team there, guys. And for me, one of my sort of purposes going down to that six-figure, seven-figure summit, and what they promoted it as was to teach us, how to grow big teams and to lead big teams. And I had some really interesting things to share with everyone on the call tonight. So please stay tuned because I'll be sharing with you guys at the very end my own experiences here. But before we get there, let's call upon Tim, who's also there. So Tim Paziak, are you on the call with us right now? So I have you unmuted here, Tim. If you can just check your microphone to see if you can talk through there. Tim, are you there? Okay, well, Tim, if you come on board later on, just say a quick hello or send a quick message, and we'll bring up later on. So we also have, of course, one of our other diplomats from the Western Canada, which is our amazing diplomat, Boris Gulk from Edmonton. And he also went to the event, of course, with his partner, Kendra. So Boris, are you there with us right now? Hi, Boris, are you there with us?
Yes, Rene, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, loud and clear. How are you,
can you hear me all right?
Yes, yes.
Well, I'm doing wonderful, my friend. It's an honor to be in a call, and I'm quite grateful. I thank you, Rene, very much.
Oh, you're very welcome. Well, thank you so much. I know, Boris, I know that you got a chance to spend a few days at that event too. I know, same questions, and when I talked to you yesterday, I mean, we were basically thinking the same thing. So why don't you share with us some of the things that you told me about your experience going down there?
Absolutely. Thank you, Rene, and thank you for this opportunity to share my experience personally. And I'd just like to thank Anne-Marie. I'm so very grateful that she invited me to this event. I was quite unknown about it, and inviting to something like this event is really good. The greatest thing I got out of the whole event was they were just great motivational speakers. I mean, if someone needs to get motivated, this was fantastic. The training basically took me back to the 80s. I know I'm dating myself. Yes, I am 43 years old, and I know, ladies, I look like I'm in my 20s, but that's okay, I'm taken. But I was involved in 3 companies in the start of 1990, and when I visualized myself at this training, I seen myself back in the 80s. When I looked around, I saw 8,000 people desperate for training. 8,000 people who have not been trained in the industry properly. I say this in hindsight because I've been to 5 conventions now with Global Wealth Trade, and I've been trained by the best only because it's proven. Ramin has created something that's proven in the industry, and he's, again, like he says, has taken all the pitfalls out of the industry. He's created a perfect compensation plan. He's created a perfect business. If we look at the industry and how And what they are teaching people is just to recruit, 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 and massive casualties. It gives the whole entire profession a bad name. They were questioning Rene. Rene is going to go over the questions they had for him later as well. I look at why people have success in this industry and why people don't have success through my own eyes. I realize that if you've known me in the past several years, I've had success and haven't had success. It's been like a roller coaster for me. The only reason why is belief, a belief system, is the belief in myself. I gotta say, since I believe in the profession, I've believed in the profession since 1990. I'm so grateful for Rene. I can never speak enough words how he has created global wealth trade for us. I'm so grateful that he created it for us, not just for the corporation. Like he says, give enough people what they want, you'll get what you want. What I'm really quite excited about is the time that Rene saves us in life when it comes to training. All the trainings I've been to, the other companies I've been involved with, there was zero training. I mean, zero. There was absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Zero business training, zero training on MLM, zero training on direct selling. I never even heard of Networking Times until I became involved with Global Wealth Trade. What I get out of the whole pro marketing that we got in Vegas, it was excellent. I think they're on the right path. I do believe that they want to make the whole industry better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sharing this because that's what I believe that they're after. I don't know if they can with the way
they're running things.
Their system has been in place. Like I say, I fell back into the 80s. All the training there to me was 100% waste of time. All of the motivation was excellent. They're great speakers, great people. If we look at the industry as a profession, if we understand how some of these people got to the top, we have to understand there's jumpers. We have to understand, we listened to this one guy, he was involved in 13 companies in 9 years. 13 companies in 9 years. Like, that's incredible. We also listen to these people, like I understand Rene is making $100,000 a month with 7,000 people on your team. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Now, if we were to ask these top earners how many hundreds of thousands of people they need in order to make the certain amount of income that they're making, excluding the bonuses, it would be phenomenal.
Oh, yes. And you know what, I mean, thank you so much, because you basically solidified exactly what I kind of felt was that, you know, you have to have an army of people to make any kind of a decent, you know, big figure income in the company. And also that, you know, really my feeling was that what people need in that crowd was forensic, you know, forensic network.
100%.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying. There are 8,000 people desperate for forensic because there is no other training that has proven success or at all in the industry.
Yeah.
It's shocking. I am shocked, and I'm so grateful. If Rene was here, I'd kiss the man's feet. He's incredible.
Wait, no,
I love the man more and more every day for all of us and what he's done, you know, for us.
Absolutely. Well, no,
so the number one thing I have to share personally, if we are struggling with success as an individual or as a team, if you have belief in the profession, if you have belief in the business, if your belief in the business is struggling, contact your upline to teach you about our comp plan, to teach you about our system, because that's all that's missing there for your belief on the company. The only thing I can recommend is the belief in yourself. The only reason why I used to believe in myself, and I had that stolen from me, but I allowed it to. But I'm going to share something with you. If you're struggling in any part of your life, I'll have to say that it would have to be a belief within myself. All parts in life where I've never had success, I looked into myself and I said, hey, I need to believe in myself to get this rolling and to have this happening first. It's the belief system that's going to assist us in our success. I believe personally that is the number one key for your personal success.
Okay, well, thank you again so much, Borth. And you're absolutely right, because if you don't have that belief in yourself, you know, you won't be able to move forward, right? So again, thank you so much, Boris, for that. We have a few other people here that I want to call upon just to share their thoughts too. And of course, one of these gentlemen is a gentleman who actually flew down there to Las Vegas a bit earlier. He has a team already growing in Las Vegas. And of course, he was there for a few days, running the events, running tours, tax trainings with his team at the event. There's no other than our amazing leader from Minnesota, Mr. Marshall. So Marshall, are you there with us on the call right now?
Hi, Rene. Could you hear me okay?
Yeah, loud and clear, Marshall. It was a great time, spending a few days with you down in Las Vegas here. Of course, you were sort of there when I was in my event before your event started. And so, same thing, Marshall. You've been to Forensic Networker and all of our trainings here. What was one of the biggest sort of, surprises you got out of being at that event in Las Vegas?
Honest truth, the biggest surprise, well, not a surprise, but I finally saw how many lost people were there at the event. I always tell my team about this. I'm not sure you guys seen the movie 300. We were literally like the 300 Spartans that came in there, like untouchable. And and the fact that 99% of everybody there was health and wellness and telecommunications. They don't know what to do. You hear people bragging about 100,000 people in their team, making $100,000 a month. Like, that does not excite me. But I don't know why people get so excited about that. But as many of you guys know, I came from Amway, and everything that the conventions of Amway reminded me. Like the GoPro event reminded me of the Amway conventions. Very good motivational speakers, but it did not tell me what I need to do. But now I finally got my point of reference compared to Forensic. And man, Forensic teaches you how to build a business. Network marketing is you build a business. It's not about motivating. I'm already motivated. I just need to learn how to build a business. And here it gave me the confirmation that, man, Forensic is the best of the best. Like, I felt like a lion walking in. Like, literally, I had top earners asking me, like, what's your products as a fashion designer? And all I had to do is point my watch. And they're like, what? Like, even top earners of companies, they don't even know that we exist, which is amazing because this is such a huge market for us. And again, like, I'm so happy. I came back so excited, just a huge confirmation that what Ramin teaches you is how to build a successful business, and Forensic is where it's at. I personally think, not to be rude, but I think Eric Worre needs Forensic as well. It's just, not to be biased, but like literally, like, this is logic. This is business. It's kind of like going to, it's kind of like paying money to go get business training, but I didn't get business training. I got training on what I need to do, do calls, recruit. Everybody knows how to do that, but how do you maintain, how do you sustain a business? And I saw so many, like the 8 categories of like distributorship, like stuff that he doesn't even teach. Those are the stuff that we need to learn, and that's what Forensic really taught us. So man, I'm just grateful that I had confirmation that Global Wall Trade is the best of the best. Like literally, like, we were the only ones there in fashion designer, Ryan. And funny story before and
Oh, please, I love stories, Marshall.
Yep. I met 2 people that was in health and wellness, and we were actually walking in the lobby, and I was walking between them, and they were just talking. It was us 3 just getting to know each other, and they finally talked about their company, and I was in the middle, walking with them, and they kept going back and forth how their juice and I'm sorry, how the herbal drink is better than theirs. Like, mine cures this, yours cures this, like, etc. I'm like, really, guys? I'm like, and I'm sitting in the middle, like, minding my own business. Like, wow, I'm so happy that I got myself out of the health and wellness industry, because if I was there, I would have been in the 99% of the people that was there, and I'm just grateful, man. And again, Rene, thank you so much for coming in and supporting Charlie and his Las Vegas team. We are very, very grateful for that. So
you're very welcome, man.
I'm excited, brother. I'm just really excited, man. Like, I'm pumped. GWT is where it's at, and it's a great feeling. Feeling.
Well, thank you so much, Marshall. And, basically, every day when I had my training, which happened before, of course, the big event, every lunchtime and dinner, I was hanging out with Marshall and his team, and, of course, with Sebastian and with Charlie. And I was sort of updating them on my experiences. And, one of the things I want to share right now was that even Eric Worre himself, he said at the event, this is a quote unquote was what he said. He said that most companies need to do business training in their conventions. And that's literally from his mouth. You know, he basically said that in most of the conventions that he's seen to a lot of conventions, that about 90% of the convention is non-business training. You know, so 10% of your investment, you're getting business training, then 90%, and this is coming from Eric Worre himself, 90% of the training is mostly just hype. All stories, hype, you know, this guy cured cancer, this guy grew a leg, this guy grew 2 heads of hair, you know, all these stories, and 10% training. And, you know, the one thing that, you know, I have to say is that, you know, he was right about that, is that, again, most companies don't do business training, and if that's what you're looking for, it's in forensic networker. And honestly, you know, I feel bad for the 8,000 people who are there, because I know that a lot of them, even the people in our 200, 300 room of a special a group there, wanted more business training, and they didn't really get that. So again, thank you so much, Marshall, for that.
Absolutely. One thing, can I share one last thing, please?
Please keep sharing, my friend.
So this was actually said by Kim Kiyosaki, which is Robert Kiyosaki's wife. You know, he's the gentleman that wrote the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. She said something that intrigued me a lot. She said, invest into tangible assets. Remember, Ramin always talks about tangible assets, such as real estate, gold, and silver. So we were the only one that has gold and silver in the GoPro event. So that's incredible. A part of our business, that's what I mean. So
folks, if you're on this call, I hope you're getting what we're trying to say here, is that you are in the right place, the right company, the right time. All that has to happen is you. You have to, if you want change, you got to change. You guys are doing the right thing, but you have the right platform here. And it honestly feels like, you know, a lot of the materials being stolen from Ramin's training here, because absolutely correct. You know, Ramin always talks about 25 reasons, right? Tangible products here, things you can actually physically touch and feel, right? So again, thank you so much, Marshall. You know, looking forward to here in Toronto very soon. So I want to call upon some other people who are there as well too before I get into my own stories here. Let's call upon Ozzy, who's actually there as well too. Ozzy Driss. So Ozzy, are you there with us, my friend? Ozzy.
Hello, Rene. Rene, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear, my friend. So, you know, I know you just came back from that event in Las Vegas. You know, really quickly, just share with us as well as your experience coming out of that event as well too.
Awesome, awesome. Well, Rene, thanks again for having me on the call, for letting me share. Basically, everything that Marshall said pretty much sums it all up for me. I mean, literally going in there with confirmation, knowing that we are in the best system in the industry, because absolutely it does teach us how to run a business. And a lot of it that we learned there was pretty much stuff I already knew, because just like Marshall, I also came from Amway, which is pretty much about 90% of what they teach is all motivational stuff. So literally that's what I picked up the whole time. And honestly, I had more fun training on the boot camp than I did sitting there listening to motivational stuff, to be honest with you. And another thing too, aside from that, it was good to be there and know that there were other family members from the GWT family that were there, just like Anne-Marie and, you know, also Sebastian and a bunch of other people that were there from our company, like Boris. So just knowing that we had the camaraderie and that we all knew what we were doing, that we all knew exactly what we were thinking. And the funny thing is that we even opened up an app together to kind of message each other around. And every message we sent to each other as we were sitting there listening to these speakers were pretty much around the same lines, meaning, I'm glad we're in a jewelry business. I'm glad we're in a luxury fashion goods business where we don't have to sell vitamins, shakes, telecom, and so forth. So other than that, it was a great event. I mean, I had a great time just hanging out with our team and just laughing.
Well, you know what? I mean, again, amazing leadership from you, because I know you were there in that training, and you took a break off to actually do our online boot camp. And you know, it's amazing that you had more fun doing our online boot camp than being in that training. So again, thank you so much, Ozzy, for sharing your thoughts here. And the last person I want to call upon, because I can't really find the people here, is, of course, one of our other amazing leaders, Sebastian, who's there as well, too. So this is try to find Sebastian to see if he's with us on the line here. So, Sebastian, can you hear me okay? Are you with us there? I see that you are. Okay. Yeah, can you speak up a bit there, Sebastian?
Sure. Let me know if this is okay.
Yeah, that's perfect. So, Sebastian, you know, I mean, you were there again early with Marshall, of course, with your Las Vegas team there. And of course, we spent some 2 days together as well too. But same thing. Share with us, what did you get out of being at that event? Investing, plane ticket and all that money to be at that event. I mean, tell us, how much did you invest actually, and what was your experience coming out of that event?
So I think I spent in total that week close to about $2,000, and I still don't know if it was worth it. In fact, I know some of the information you're going to share because I had the pleasure of spending 2 days with you. So I want to be as brief as possible because I know what you're going to share, everyone definitely needs to hear. So just to put things, just really, really simple, if I don't have success in GWT, at least when I look in the mirror, I know it was my fault. And I don't know if distributors in that room can say the same thing with that conviction. I know it was because I wasn't consistent and didn't follow through with Ramin's blueprint. I can't blame the company. I can't blame the people. I can't blame anything else. And I was talking to an individual who had been through 5, 6, 7 companies. He kept blaming the people, the company, and that's what gives the industry a bad name, right? So, I love something Ramin said, and I really tried to look at the speakers and see where they were at. He says 1/3 got lucky, right place, right time. He says 1/3 worked way too hard and he can't replicate it. And then he says 1/3 get it. I'm not sure there was a 1/3 on the stage that actually got it. And that's what's alarming to me because these people are now leading the 8,000 people in the room, and those 8,000 people have distributors, and that's millions and millions, right? So just like everyone else said, the training we have here is world-class, especially the 8 categories of distributorship. But what's most important, I mean, Rene, you're fantastic at this, is teaching people about compensation plans. A lot of the time when people don't succeed, they say, oh, it's because you joined the wrong people, right? Or, oh, you joined the wrong people, you just got to find the right people. And they focus a lot on recruiting, but there's not enough training on keeping these people involved. And, every single time we heard a speaker in MLN, it was all about, oh, you can do it if I can do it. But what they don't tell you is that they have teams of 100,000 distributors, or they have a paid position, or that they got this real juicy deal just to endorse this company. So I'm not sure where the level of integrity was in that room, but all I know leaving the event was that we have a lot of people we need to help. And I'm glad the trade-up program was introduced because there's a lot of people who have spent a lot of money in this industry with just making the wrong decisions, and I'm glad that at least we get to help them. And I say that as a collective whole because, this trade-up program can help a lot of people, and from there, plugged into our training with leaders like yourself, at least they are set up powerfully to have success in this industry. So thanks so much, Rene. I can't wait to hear what you're going to share. I know you shared a little bit with me one-on-one, but man, I can't wait to hear the rest of this stuff. So thank you so much.
No, I mean, thank you, Sebastian, because you're absolutely right. As Ramin always says, that the 1% in the field that actually make the big money, 1/3 of the 1% just got lucky, 1/3 of the 1% just worked really hard, and 1/3 of the 1% actually know what they're actually doing. And my thoughts exactly the same when I was there. I felt like in a room full of 300 people who make 6 figures a year and more, I felt like it was the lost leading the lost. Blind sheep following blind sheep, and the whole time I was there, I just kept thinking, people in this room seriously need to learn the forensic networker that our CEO has created here. So again, thank you so much, Sebastian, for sharing your thoughts here. And right now, I want to get a chance to share with you some of my own personal thoughts because in my event it was a bit different. It was meant for all 6-figure a year and 7-figure earners to go there and to share some ideas, talk about what we're doing. I was called upon, of course, to share some of my experiences and my sort of skills as well too. And before that, I want to share with you guys just a quick few pictures here. Because I like showing pictures here, so hopefully you can actually see my screen here. I'm just going to make myself the presenter. Before I do that, one quick second here as I turn over the presenter to myself and show my screen here. So on the screen here, of course, is when we touched down Las Vegas, of course, It's not a bad place. That could be a lot of fun. And of course, here we have me sort of heading into my room here, having a quick lunch, and right away as we got to Las Vegas, here's a view from my room. Not too bad, but right away, had some breakfast in the morning, and boom, landed business meetings right away. So here's of course Marshall, Sebastian, and our LC in Las Vegas, Charlie here, having our meetings right away, planning for the tours, planning for the tax trainings, and these are the things, folks, that make you money. These are the skills you have to learn, the things you got to do, the steps you got to take in business, the business training when you apply it. That's how you get to where you are. Motivation is great. Self-development is great, but all that stuff, without a business plan that forensic teaches you, won't get you anywhere. And so again, here we are applying forensic, being on the ball. And here's the next morning, my very first time going to that event here. Network Marketing Pro. Picked up my name tag here, of course. There it is, Rene Liaw, seven-figure earner, representing, of course, the best company in the world, GWT. Having a lot of fun there. For me, I really want to see how many other people are here with me. So I actually thought that they grouped all of the seven-figure earners together, but actually they kind of had it spread across the table here. And think about this, folks. 96 million people worldwide in direct sales, and a lot of these seven-figure earners are here in this room, and it's not a big table, okay? And again, for me, I had a really rude awakening, almost like a confirmation. A lot of things that Rene has always told me about this industry, about the qualified and non-qualified trainers as well too. So here I am, just taking a photo here, and here's the room that I was in. And to give you an idea of what happened, it's funny because when I was there, I was basically told on stage, and they had a rule, absolutely no cross-recruiting, absolutely not allowed to show any propaganda. If you have any propaganda, leave it in your hotel room, no marketing material. And I was sitting here thinking to myself, oh shoot, I have all of my company's propaganda, my timepiece, my fairy mosh ring, my fairy mosh wallet, of course, all there with me. And folks, I want you to capture this image. I want you to realize this is what sets us apart. The 96 million people out there struggling and battling each other, and yet meanwhile we sit across on the other side of the fence, top of the hill, looking down, enjoying the fact that we don't compete with anyone else in the world, and we have world-class products here, folks. And so, of course, they called upon me to share a few words. I'm going to share in a quick second here too. And one thing I want to share with you guys here is here's an image I took really quickly, because what they did was they actually asked all of the people in the room, whoever here has made over $100,000, please stand up. So, of course, everyone stood up. They then asked, if you're not making more than $250 income a year in MLM, please sit down. And immediately a bunch of people sat down. Then they asked, if you're not making more than $500,000 a year in income with your business, please sit down. And by that point in time, majority of the people in that room had sat down already. Then they asked, well, if you haven't made more than $1 million a year in the business, please sit down. And that's when most people had already sat down there. And so my point here, folks, is that I looked around the room, and I want to see how many other people actually can earn a seven-figure income in a year in this business. And most of them were, not to be in any way, impolite, but they're much older than me. They're people who have been doing it for 10, 15 plus years. I even asked these people, how big are your teams? And they're saying to me, with pride, 300,000 people. I want to ask you a question. Do you honestly think it's easy to have 100,000, 300,000 people in your team? I'll be the first one to tell you, to me, that's very hard. That is something that, it's very tough to do, especially nowadays with so much competition happening in this industry. And so, for me, this is really sort of nice and proud to know that, age of, 32, my first million, age of 34, doing $1 million a year in income. And I did it in the past 5 to 7 years. No one else there had even done it within that short amount of time frame with that size of a team, okay? And so one thing that I did really want to share is just some of my own personal experiences, of course. And so, and one of the first things that was asked in that room that really shocked me, almost disappointed me, and again, was someone asked Eric Ward, can the things that we're talking about, because a lot of our discussions was very different. the discussion that we had was more about the issues and problems we have right now in network marketing. You know, a bunch of people sharing their frustrations, sharing their problems, and these are, you know, 6-figure, 7-figure earners sharing with you, you know, their frustrations and their issues. And one person actually asked, you know, Eric, is it okay, and will we be discussing some of these things in the generic training that you have in the following days? And, you know, I was expecting for him to say, absolutely. You know, these are things, if people have chosen this as a profession, these are the things people have to hear about because it's the reality of what we're doing in MLM today. And to my surprise, he said, you know what, absolutely, we cannot. We cannot share the things we're discussing about because it's not meant for the, you know, for the other people, the non-6-figure, 7-figure earners. And folks, that to me was kind of disappointing because I believe that in this industry, you know, if you are, you know, for all of you on the call right now, wouldn't you have wanted to hear all the things that went on those 2 days that I was there, right? And luckily for you guys, though, we talk about these things all the time. You know, we talk about it in Rene's 25 Reasons. We talk about it in the Compound Pitfalls. We talk about it in all of our training. We discuss, you know, how our company is so much better because we don't have these issues that these other 300-plus people were talking about. And so one of the things that kind of off the bat, you know, just gave me a bit of a, you know, not too, I guess, happy of a thought was the fact that they didn't want to share with the masses, you know, the issues in MLM. Meanwhile, our CEO, Rene Liaw, he's transparent. He's trying to share with you every little thing that's a reality in MLM, so you know how to build a strong business and then make yourself a fortune. And so that's one of the things that I want to share off the bat. I get a quick sip of water here. And so, again, you know, I mentioned before, a lot of people came to that 6-figure, 7-figure summit, and the whole purpose was to share ideas, you know, and talk about the challenges that we do have. And a lot of it was to try to help you advance from having, you know, 50,000 people to have 100,000 people, to go from 200,000 people to 500,000 people. And it's all about just trying to build this big organization. And, you know, a lot of people had a lot of questions that were being asked in that room, and I could tell that they were hungry for that business training that we're talking about. And the one thing I kept thinking the whole entire 2 days that I was there was these people need forensic networker. You know, they need a proper business manual plan that will teach them step by step how to get there. And literally everything that I've heard in those 2 days, Ramin already covers that in his forensic networker training. But not only that, but there's a lot more. There's so much more that I've learned in Ramin's training that, you know, not to be in any way disrespectful or rude, because I have had that advanced training from our CEO, but I was literally bored. I was actually bored the 2 days I was in my event. You know, I felt like people in the room, you know, were so hungry for information and they weren't getting it. It's like the blind leading the blind. And so, you know, I just wanted to, again, personally, I mean, I'm just so lucky to come across GWT and to come across, you know, Ramin's training, because he not only does he tell you the business training, he gives you a tracking system, a guide, he gives you the breakdown of numbers, he does all that motivation, so all of it packaged together in Forensic Networker. And meanwhile, in this event here, a lot of people left feeling frustrated, they left asking a lot of questions. And so, you know, and the other thing that kept running on my mind, and this might make you laugh, I kept thinking, you know, again, they're sharing all these issues they have in the industry, all these problems. I kept thinking to myself, you know, thank God I'm in GWT. You know, thank God we don't have all these other issues. One thing that they're trying to figure out in this mass room of 300 people making 6 figures or more, they're trying to figure out, well, you know, how do you create product loyalty or product retention? You know, and one thing that, and off the bat, you know, they're trying to figure out how to keep people on their products, and that was like a good 2-hour discussion talking about how to keep people on your products. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, thank God we don't have these products. Thank God we have products people die for, they want. You know, they're singing up their IA to buy these products. And for me, it was a 100,000% confirmation that in GWT we have the right products and we have the best products in the industry. Because it meant 2 hours. People were trying to figure out what in the world, how do you create product loyalty? And one thing they actually said that almost made me laugh out loud. One of the ways that they said to create product loyalty was to do public use of your products whenever possible. So public use of your products whenever possible. So what they're saying is, if you're at work and you're selling vitamins, purposely take out these vitamins during your meeting and pop it into your mouth. Or if you're selling juice, purposely take it out and shake it around and drink it while in front of others. And meanwhile, I was thinking to myself, oh my God, our products naturally have a public use. You wear it all the time. You wear it, it's on your body. It's constantly showing, to everyone around you, 360 view all day long. So we naturally have, a public use product. And to be honest with you, I would almost be slightly embarrassed sometimes if I were in another company trying to promote health and wellness. It's kind of embarrassing to me, at least, to try to do the public use with your products here, right? I had a girl I met a long time ago who was in ACN, and she's trying to carry her video phone everywhere she goes. And it's a big, chunking, heavy thing, and she's trying to show that everywhere she goes. And my point here, folks, is I want you to have a good point of reference. I want you to have that understanding that, man, at GWT, we have it good here. We don't have to go that extra mile to have a public use. They also said, one of the biggest issues right now in the industry is product claims. So what's happening right now is that in other companies, again, this is another hour-and-a-half discussion, okay? And all they're talking about is claims, product claims. And because initially they're saying, well, how do you create duplication? And people are saying, well, we should always tell stories about how this product helped you, and take videos and put it on Facebook. And that led to a big, someone else asking a question, well, but what about product claims? And we have some legal issue, because when you put a product claim online saying that, you took these products and your grandma cured cancer, or when, you took this product, all of a sudden, you found out that your toe got bigger. I don't know. But all these things about product claims, and the issue, though, was the legalities having product claims. And so we had a lot of, in this huge room, there's a big concern. Top networkers were scared to do product claims because they had some friend that got sued by it, that got a big loss, lost a lot of money, and people getting sued, legal issues. A lot of people are scared not to do product claims. And again, I was sitting there thinking to myself, thank God at GWT we don't have these issues. We don't have to worry about, product claims because, and we do it all the time. I'm always constantly saying how I love my watch. When I put on my Fairy March ring, I feel like He-Man. It's such a different company we have here, and so I want you to again get that perspective view, that point of reference. And look, folks, life here at GWT is amazing. You have no idea. There's so many things that they're talking about in those 2 days that we don't have to go through, and we're lucky because if you're in another company, these are the things you have to worry about. And one of the other things that they're saying in terms of how to create, product retention, whatever it might be, is that there's sort of two different ways, right? One was you wear a lab coat. That's one school thing. You wear a lab coat. You're trying to educate your brand new LC on all the details of your new juice because you want to become like a lab coat, a doctor, try to do all the scientific stuff about why your product is so good to create product retention. And the other side of the other way of doing it, so one way is lab coat style. The other style is sharing stories, and that's where it goes back to product claims. So my point is either way, if you're trying to create product retention into the companies, you're either doing all these crazy stories and all these false claims that could lead to legal issues, or you have to be a doctor, half a doctor. You have to, to spend so much time to learn all the 13 different items and become a doctor. And again, to me, the longer it takes for your brand new LC to understand the product and to try to explain that product to someone else, if you have to learn about that product, it means your business is going to be slow. It means that it takes more time, and that just kills a lot more people off the bat. With the GWT, we don't have these issues. You know, I don't have to explain to you what a watch is. I don't have to tell you what a necklace is. You just know by looking what it is because you wear it, you see it every single day. So again, my point here, folks, we don't have these issues that other companies have, okay? And so, and the last part that, of many things that kind of shocked me, one thing that he said, and this literally, I actually agreed with Eric when he said this. He said that most, again, quote unquote, he said most of you top earners in this room don't even understand your compensation plan. And he said that to 300 of the 6-figure and 7-figure earners, that most of them did not understand the comp plan. And I can even back that up for you because I met a gentleman there who had just, you know, left USANA, joined another company. I don't want to say what company it was. And when I was telling him, I still haven't found a company yet that doesn't have ranks. So I told him, I haven't yet found a company that doesn't have ranks yet. And again, his response to me, this is like a 6-figure earner, his response to me was ranks don't mean SHIT. So his response to me was ranks don't mean SHIT. And for all of you people on the call today, you know how important ranks and how detrimental they are to your business. But I'm trying to tell you the story. I want you to realize that if you meet some of these other top earners out there, and you have gotten our training in our company about compensation plans and through our bootcamp trainings, you know a lot more, and you're more well-educated, you're more well-adversed in MLM training than these other top earners are, because that's how sad it is. And so, again, to summarize my experience, everything that was taught there, I had learned it in Ramin's forensic training, but Ramin's training is more structured. It's more like step by step by step, covers from start to finish, whereas those 2 days there felt like it's going back and forth, no structure, very confusing. And again, just it's just sad how he confirmed that most conventions you go to, more than 90% of the training is all hype. And meanwhile, at GWT, if you go to our trainings, it's also 99.99% or 100% geared on business training here, folks. And so, since then, I had a chance to talk to some other people who, in other companies, who came back, and I could see, how other people were having a tough time. I met a gentleman here who was actually a top earner at USANA, and I asked the guy questions. I said, I don't want to give any names here, but I asked the top guy at USANA, I said to him, how many business centers have you built? Because at USANA, every business center only makes you $1,000 a week. With a GWT, we can make $10,000 a week, and you get 3 business centers, right? So $30,000 a week income at GWT. So in USANA, you could build a lot more business centers to unravel the same income we have in GWT by building 1 business center. So I asked the guy, well, how many business centers have you built? And his answer was 22. Let me ask you a question. How many of you on this call physically and feasibly think you can actually build 22 business centers? I'll be the first one to tell you, I don't think I could build 22 business centers. And my response to this gentleman when he told me he built 22 business centers to make 6 figures a year, not 7 figures a year. He wasn't a 7-figure earner. He was a 6-figure earner. Okay. What I said to him was, Mr. So-and-so, that's quite incredible. To build 22 business centers, I couldn't even do that. But what I could do, and that I have done, is have built 2 business centers and to earn 7-figure income. He's like, yeah. He looked at my name tag. He said, and he looked kind of confused. He's like, and he paused, and he just looked at me because he knew that I was a 7-figure earner. I just told him that I could only build 2 business centers to make 7 figures, but he built 22 business centers to make 6 figures. And he just kind of stood there, and he's like, which company are you with? And yes, that gentleman I'm talking about, we're still talking right now. We're actually scheduling a call with he actually asked me for my company's comp plan breakdown. I already sent it to him, and we're actually going to be getting a call very soon here in the future. So, folks, my point here is and after that, we kept talking in the hallway, and he had his downline who had built about 15 business centers there with him, and that guy was sort of still proud about it, And he was even saying, and the top guy even said to me, saying, well, it kind of depends because you can have 22 business centers, but if they're empty, it means nothing. And after talking to him in the past few days, he even told me that now USANA has become he's actually retired from USANA. He's kind of not doing it anymore. He only spends about 2 hours a month doing USANA. And I could hear his demotivation. I could see his pain that he's gone through. And folks, luckily at GWT, you don't have to have 100,000 plus people to make 6 figures a month in this business. And so folks, me personally, I just want to share with you guys a lot of the things that I went through because I felt like you should hear it from me. Because a lot of you guys, I'm sure you would have loved to have had a secret microphone, on me in that meeting, because the things you would have heard there would have, again, confirmed 100% that you were in the right company. And again, a lot of the things I learned there, Ramin, our very own CEO, has already covered all this training already. And of course, and one thing that me and Marshall were talking about was the fact that he was bored. I was telling Marshall that I was bored in my training, and when I went for lunch with Marshall, and after I left Las Vegas and Marshall went to his trainings, he actually privately messaged me saying, Rene, I know what you mean now when you said you were bored. Because we get the right kind of training at GWT. So folks, all it comes down to is you. We have the right company, the right platform, the right product. We don't have half of the issues other companies have. All it comes down to is you. And so, of course, folks, I'm so blessed here to have a chance to, of course, call upon a very special guest speaker here. I'm trying to make sure that I can actually unmute this person. Unfortunately, I don't see a chance to be able to unmute you. And so what I'm going to do right now is try to give a quick 1 minute here. We have a very special guest speaker who I want to call upon here. And I want to get a chance for them to find a way to plug in here. If I have one of the other ambassadors who's on the phone, if you can dial in to our special guest speaker, that would be great. Yes, please do that. Sean, if you get a chance to help me plug in our special guest speaker. So folks, you don't want to miss this next gentleman who's going to share with you some other things here, because this is a gentleman here that you just do not want to miss to hear from. So please give me 1 quick second here while we're going to plug in our special guest speaker through the phone lines here. And so I'm going to check to see if that line is ready yet. And so Sean, once you have confirmed that you have our guest speaker with you, just let me know. I don't actually see you, Sean, as well, but just let me know which mic to use. Again, so folks, to share more stories in the meantime, though, I also met another person, and this is the kind of garbage that happens. A lot of people who were there shouldn't have been there. It was really disappointing to me because I felt like if you were there, you should have earned your way there. And the guy beside me, one of the guys beside me, he was actually this internet marketer, and who has made a lot of money in internet marketing. But when I asked him, well, is it MLM? He says, well, no, it's not. And he was saying to me how weird all this training is for him. So I was like, well, what are you even doing here? We had other people there who were some, just a lot of people who just weren't qualified. Maybe they made money before, but they're not making any money right now. And so it's really sort of, I guess, in some ways for me, disappointing to see the fact that we had some people who were at that event that shouldn't have been there. I'm another gentleman who was there, and it was kind of shocking because this other gentleman had just left his company, went to another company, but the money he was making wasn't from MLM. The money he was making was because he was actually a founder of that company. So I was like, well, if you're not making money in MLM through the business plan, and you're making money through being an owner of the company, then you're not qualified to be here either. And that's what's going through my mind as well too, right? So a lot of things were just kind of shocking for me. Let me just do a quick check to see if we have our guest here. Sean, can you speak up there? Are you there, Sean?
Yes, I'm here, Rene, and we have our very special VIP guest on the line with me.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, Sean. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I really want to call upon this amazing guest speaker, because he's a gentleman that has literally, from 2005, started to change the face of this industry. He's been known to improve the image of direct selling. He's been on the front cover of the American Business Journal. More importantly, he's also been the creator and the mastermind behind the forensic networker system. He's a gentleman that a lot of people need his training, even at the event that I was at. The gentleman that has a lot of his material being copied, because a lot of things that he was saying, was literally copied during those trainings myself too. The gentleman that has built his company from ground up, went from zero in his basement to this multi-million-dollar, award-winning, worldwide, fashionable company that's growing immensely, doubling growth, tripling growth. No other than our very own CEO, Mr. Rene Liaw. Rene, do we have you on the line with us today?
Good evening, Rene. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, loud and clear. Thank you so much for taking your time as the CEO. Folks, this is what our company, the CEO of the company, taking his time to spend with us at the field. Thank you so much, Rene. Rene, can you share with us your thoughts on the whole entire call? What are the things that are going through your mind as well?
Well, you know what? This is one of the most exhilarating calls I've heard in years. And you know what? I always claim forensic that human beings need a point of reference. It's a forensic term I use a lot. You need a point of reference. Say, for example, if you're a car person, if you're not a car person, and from the very first car you got in was a Bentley, well, it's a nice car. You know that's prestigious, but you really don't know the difference between it and anything else. Then you finally come out and you go into a regular car and you see the person is bragging, oh, we got power windows in our car. And you'd be thinking, power windows? I mean, this is like such basic stuff. So what really happened to you guys is that because many people that launch with Global Wall of Trade, they're very new to MLM. Even if they were not, they never had training like this, so they come in, they go through the forensic system or the forensic seminar or read the book, and they get all this very advanced stuff, and then for a lot of you who become real forensic students, this was your point of reference. You went to some of the biggest personalities in MLM world, like you said, 8,000 people, all kinds of people with all kinds of money to be there, and you're sitting there thinking, this is MLM 101. This is the power windows. Now, we just came, from something, and all of a sudden, the training session, I guess it was good because the training session for you turned into a prospecting session because, now you can focus on saving more confused and lost souls. So, it's great. I feel amazing about this. I'm glad that you guys went and got your point of reference. In Forensic Networker, I didn't even make it available to the world for the first 15 years. I wrote that book in 1999. There was 2 different manuals. One of them at that time was called the Psychology of Sales, and then there was a Psychology of MLM, and then Sales. It was 2 different, same book for 2 different markets. And then the second one was called Independent Business Owner's Manual, and I put them both together, became the Forensic Networker. But I was convinced for the first 10 years or so, it was too advanced for the average person. Because I bought into the mantra of MLM, my first part of my career, the KISS principle. Keep it stupid, simple, simple, stupid. And I thought that one particular word is the biggest detriment to the success of a workforce worldwide. You want to know why? Because running a business is not supposed to be stupid simple. Running a business is supposed to be, you have to pick up some disciplines. You're supposed to, it doesn't have to become technical or complex, but running a business, you are supposed to become more than what you already are if you haven't run a business before. Even if you haven't run a business before, in this platform, the direct sales, working from home, being your own boss, being self-functional, all of that, those are disciplines that you can only get being in this business. So the world is out there preaching, oh, keep it stupid simple. That tells our workforce you don't have to learn anything. You have to change anything. You have to become anything. And we know what we say in forensic. Learn more, become more. So want more, become more, earn more, and give more. So after about 10 years or so, I decided, you know what? The industry success ratio, it's horrible. It's a slaughterhouse out there. Companies are just leaving behind casualties. by tens of thousands because of this mantra that, you know, you don't need to know anything, learn anything, and you just get excited and just share stories, right? So sharing is an important part of a business. But, you know, I always say you don't need to become the best recruiter, the best closer, the best anything, unless you know how to run a business. You know, in MLM, all they talk about is how to do prospecting and how to do the best presentation. You don't need to know that unless you know how to run a business. What is MLM? It's a business. So teaching someone to close somebody and they don't know how to run a business, it's like putting somebody in a race car to win a race. They don't have a driver's license yet. They don't know how to drive yet. They're going to crash. And that's essentially what's going on in the MLM industry. So if you go to the forensicnetworker.com, I'm pretty hard on the so-called experts of the industry. And a few things that I've been hearing here and there from Americans, you know, there's a lot of my stuff that he's starting to share around. And I don't really care, you know, if it's going to help the industry, I'm all for that. So I'm glad you folks went out there and you're hearing from some of our forensic students, our GWT heroes who've gone down there and they got an awakening. And the awakening was, you don't need another MLM technique or move to hit a financial home run in GWT. You just need to stop becoming a student, become coachable, work with your My 5, and stop putting in effort. Become a student of GWT, and you have everything you need to hit a financial home run. I specifically like the ideas about, Sebastian talked about, referred to my forensic, but I kind of categorized the top 1%, and he says one of them was qualified to be there. You know, perhaps he's being too kind, but the point is this: you don't have to be a hot shot to become a hot shot. All you have to know how to run a business, get your driver's license. We have a good product. In our case, happens to be the world's best visual product. Become a team player. Become coachable. Just you know, control your ego. For most people, that's not an issue, but some people are. And you know what? You cannot fail in this industry because it is the last bastion of the free enterprise. It's the last chance for the average person to hit a financial home run. This is it. I think we all knew we have the products, the best products in the world. And I believe we all knew we had the best compensation plan in the world. And I think this call just brought up the other element that maybe you need it, maybe some of you need it, and that is the training you need is right here. Just become a student of it. Become a student of forensic. Become a student of your back office. Become a student of every training video we put out. Become a student of every Facebook pages that we have. Become a student of every boot camp, every Tuesday night, every Sunday night. Become a student of those things, and you will succeed within 5 years. If you become a forensic student, 12 to 18 months. But I know that requires a hell of a lot of discipline. We've done it. We have our examples in front of you. But I understand that it takes a lot. It doesn't have to be 12 to 18 months. It could be 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. 550 plan is much better than what you got right now, which is the 50-50 plan, which, by the way, last week, that doesn't even exist. Last week on the radio, pretty much the Canadian government is telling us now there's this whole new mantra out there, and this is exactly how they quoted it, how they say, I'm not embellishing this one way, I'm not Romanizing this, and it's not my words, this is what they say. The new mantra is, the government message, work till you die. And they had all of this stats, how badly the Canadians are set up for their retirement. So basically, work till you die is the new mantra. You're going to hear a lot from your government. So you have an opportunity right now to become more than what you are right now, stretch yourself a bit further, and become one of the GWT heroes like we've been hearing on this call tonight. So I'm going to pass it back to you, Rene. Again, one of the most exhilarating calls, and when you guys talk about being there, I've been there, and I know for everyone it could be something different, but what you get out of it, you'll never be the same again. So back to you, Rene.
Well, thank you so much, Ramin. And folks, if you're hearing this call right now, the things you got, the thing I urge you to do is the second we have our convention tickets out for sale, which includes the Friends and Networker, is to buy your ticket right away, because all you need, again, is our company's training. The Friends and Networker, if you haven't gone through it before, you want to make sure you do anything possible. That investment itself is going to be worth more than millions of dollars, and you go into any other kind of event or convention. And of course, speaking about being a student, just to finish up with some amazing announcements here, we do have, of course, a boot camp happening in Toronto, December the 13th. It's a Saturday. It's actually our last boot camp of the year. It's going to become a very, very special boot camp. We have guest presenters, VIP trainers there, some new amazing material. You don't want to miss that boot camp. Okay, folks, you heard it yourself from the man himself, the man who is sharing the truth in MLM, who is uncovering the truth in MLM, has a proven system for you. You heard from himself. You got to become a student. Make sure you buy your bootcamp tickets right now online. They're available for sale. Go and buy your bootcamp tickets. We'll see you in Toronto, December the 13th. I know we have other bootcamps happening in, I believe, in Ottawa as well too. And again, folks, to end this call, I just want to say again, thank you to all of our wonderful guest speakers who came on board and want to share with us, their experience from Las Vegas and comparing it to, what we have here at GWT. Folks, the grass isn't always greener. We have the right company. You heard from us, the right products, the right comp plan. And even just tonight, I just did a training with this a Chinese team here talking about comp plan pitfalls. And some people in my room here have spent, 5, 10, 15 years in the industry, first time hearing this kind of training. And that is the kind of training we deliver at GWT. It comes down to you. If you want change, you got to change. Commit to the trainings. Become a student. Folks, my name is Rene Liaw, Ambassador GWT. Thank you so much for tonight. Have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful weekend, wonderful evening. Be forensic, stay forensic, to the billion. Rene signing off. Thank you so much.